Monday. So wanted to get into starting the second half of the book since we are starting the classes and getting through empowerment. I did have we were attending today that is actually good in regards to empowerment. So I'll put the Zoom link into the chat and you all can see it from there. Chapter 8 covers empowerment and social work practice. So we do have a lot in empowerment that is definitely important here. So empowerment builds on traditional problem solving. It also incorporates empowering language. The shift focus from the expert professional to collaborative partnership with clients. That's an important one. A lot of times the preference is to be the expert and to do work that is important and that we want to show what we do, how we do it, and things of that nature, because that's...
I'm Dr. Delgado, and I prescribe...
That's...
Addie. And I prescribe Addie.
How sometimes we get our ego or feeling good about professionalism and things of that nature. So I also do have removed part 3, which was an important video in terms of foster care and adoption. But with the conference, I'd rather get through this first and then get to the discussions in the conference, which I can show y'all. It's about striving for educational excellence, growing equitable space in 2022, then going through some of the important speakers. So some of the folks at 120 are Christina and Michael Carter, undoing systemic inequities in educational spaces. So right along the lines of empowerment. If you're in person, you also have Shaniqua Pope and Rochelle Ferboda, both from Miami University, covering ethics, and then a few others. So if you were in person or you watch Breakout 2, they're going to also record it so you can watch it later. Facilitating conversations on critical thinking, on equity through children's literature. So there's some good stuff in terms of empowerment as it relates back to chapter 8. So I wanted to cover some of that and see where you'll go. So there's this chart in chapter 8 that's good about an empowering approach to being a generalist social worker. And it lists these 9 things. So forming partnerships, articulating situations, and defining directions, identifying strengths, assessing resources, framing solutions, and activating the resources, creating alliances, which is a big one, and expanding opportunities, recognizing successes, and then integrating gains. So that's a good chart to go over in chapter 8 about how we use the empowering approach in social work practice. Excuse me. Also have the client's rights from an empowerment perspective on practice. So clients have the right to expect that we as the social work professionals will show respect, communicate non-judgmentally, demonstrate cultural competence, appraise clients of options, and also promote social justice, Also expecting that you'll have rights in the process that will support collaborative partnerships, provide opportunities from their stories, um, even that you'll do a program evaluation and research planning to make it better. So what you get from program evals, what you can do to make it better, and things of that nature. So keeping up with what you have to. Um, Staff education and training, social policy, and coalition building. So again, with empowerment, it's important to build the partnerships, and doing that by forming partnerships, building empowering social or client relationships, and then acknowledging the client's privilege and uniqueness. Then, after that part of engagement, there's articulating situations, discussing the reasons for seeking assistance. Not usually get on your assessment. So you're assessing what the unmet needs of the clients are, and you'll find out what their situation is, the reason for seeking assistance, validate their experiences. And then from your assessment, defining directions. So you determine the purpose for the relationship. You may just be passing them on to somebody that has expertise in what they need. And then screen for preemptive actions, like if there's stuff that they can do on their own without a social worker. So Chapter 8 has the amazing table 8.3, and these are like typical concerns of the various systems. And it could just start with stress, advocacy needs, victimization, then move on to community needs, which is like employment, economic development, social policy change, then also professional concerns. As a social worker, you want to be professional, have professionalism, have a supervisor, so professional monitoring, a peer review and your charts and whatnot, so people are sure you're writing out the notes, and then gaps and barriers in the services, and then social service delivery network. So a lot of those come up. Then if it's an expertise area that you are not able to work on, there is a referral process. So having the elements of referrals, practitioners refer clients to other professionals and agencies when service needs of the client system exceed the scope of the agency mission. Clients require specialized services that go beyond the skill repertoire of the social worker, making sure to screen service for the best referral fit, following agency referral protocols, and then making the actual referral and transferring the client's records. And even arranging for follow-up. That's definitely important and comes up. So few of the other ones. On assessment, you're going to identify their strengths. That's a big one that we like to do in the social work area. So even strengths in functioning and coping, then assessing for resources, resource capabilities. So gather information to further understand problems, issues, and needs. Also framing it solutions, so develop goals and objectives, and their plans of action. So a lot of times you'll do that with the client. You want to have them create their own goal. So you're not just like forcing a goal upon them. And that's one of the important pieces in Chapter 8. They have a good chart on how you promote the client strengths, starting with reflecting empathy, moving on through respect and dignity and worth. You remain client focused. You uphold their confidentiality. You should also seek solutions that encourage their participation. So like if you're making a treatment plan, that it's something you do with the client there. And involve them in professional development and research, policy formulation. So it has a lot of good charts. I'll all the way up to 8.6 and 8.7. So review those charts. There is even a genogram in here, which is something you learn how to do in the class called HBSE, Human Behavior in the Social Environment. And it covers like 3 generations of the structure and interrelationships within a family. Genes incorporate information from at least 2 generations, we usually do 3 generations, including name, age, dates of marriage, divorce, and deaths. Sometimes you would include like mental health diagnosis and addictions, and you can help your client make these. So first, that's the genogram. The second one is the eco map. This is another one to see where their energy is put throughout the day. So they describe the eco map. It's a tool that works, helps workers and clients visualize their environmental resources and constraints. Eco maps picture significant relationships between client systems and their environmental systems. So things that come up there. Here, table 8.7 goes through the social work roles, and that's another big one. So with problem solving, you could start with just enabler, like empowers clients to resolve their own problem. You could be a facilitator where you foster organizational development. You may be a planner, so coordinate programs and policy development. Also, being a colleague or monitor, you would act as a mentor to guide and support them. You may do resource management, so a lot of times that's just case management up there. Also being a broker and advocate. There they would act as an intermediary between individuals and resources, and then help assemble groups and other things that they may need for like their resource development. Sometimes you just help them with education, so being a trainer, teacher, or even outreach worker. So that's some of the stuff social work would get involved in as you go throughout the day. There's also the implementation. So when you do intervention and evaluation, hello, Dr. Lichtenberg. Activate the resources, maybe help mobilize advanced resources to implement action plan. Also creating alliances, forge with support networks and resources of delivery systems. So a few of those that come up. And then we have the conference that I'm sending you to. I'll make sure that Lichtenberg gets this because he always likes to skip class. So we'll send him the Zoom link. He can watch it live. Dr. Swami is on there. Again, it's for striving for educational excellence, growing equitable spaces in the conference, first annual conference by Dr. Rajiv Swami. And a lot of it's helpful in that empowerment series, especially as you work with folks of all varieties of ages. So last few slides on here, we've got with intervention evaluation. So you want to expand opportunities, like help develop new resources through program development, community organizing, and social action. So that's one of the ones that comes up. See where they are on the conference. Okay, looks like they are not starting back yet, but in less than 4 minutes they will. We also have, with intervention evaluation, recognizing their successes. So making sure the client has the ability to recognize their own personal success. So will use evaluation and research to validate the client's achievement. Maybe it is like a Survey Monkey that you use on the cell phone. That's an easy one for evaluation. Folks use a lot because it's savable and can be confidential and will just send on to like either the supervisor or somebody without a name attached to it. And then you want to assess their effectiveness of the programs working on them and the services given to them. So a lot of times people do a program evaluation by just having several clients fill out the Survey Monkey and do it anonymously. And they're just given a link to go in and type those through because that's some of the stuff that comes up. They can be held accountable if they're doing bad. They can be held accountable if they're doing bad services, or if you're doing something good, you can see what the good service is that's provided. So here's different types of practice evaluations. You've got progress evaluation. That one just monitors the effectiveness of ongoing work of the social workers and their clients. You've also got number 2 is the outcome assessment, and that is measuring the client's achievement of goals and social work methods and effectiveness. And then program eval, so investigating the effectiveness of specific services and achieving their overall goals of programs and expectations of grant requirements or the agency's mission. Quick side note, making sure you are registered for classes. And you can do that with fill out your blank check sheet. And it's something that you can get from the chair of your department that you're located in, or even your advisor would have one. So just making sure there's a blank check sheet that's filled out and you see which classes you've taken and then which ones you'd like to finish for the future. All right, so last slide before they get back, we've got about 1.5 minutes, so making sure that we are on time with starting you with this conference here. So again, implementation. So this is intervention and evaluation, integrating gains, stabilizing positive change, and bring closer to the change process. So making sure that somebody has put in what they want and need to have closure on what they are actually doing, to show the change process. I want to see if we do have a check sheet available. So we'd go with open recent and check sheets, because this is what you're going to want to have filled out when you do register. And here it is. You can get this from your advisor. And it generally looks like this, so it covers all of your social work classes. Social work major. If not, this side would have what your major is. So if you're education major, which I know some of you are, that's one of the places that you would fill out, and just making sure you're on time for graduation is the essence of that. So that can be done pretty quickly with your advisor. So just making sure that you're up to date. On the left side is all the like core curriculum that you would have to take, or a lot of people transfer those in. And you get to see exactly what you're missing and what you have to do for your classes. So check that out. Make sure to keep up to date with it. So you've got your 120 hours when you do graduate. That's like the new magic number. And that's all I have before this conference gets going again. So they may be taking a little bit longer lunch than we had thought, but let's go over then to, I was prepared for this, starting removed part 3. So we'll just watch the first half.
Where'd you go? Okay. Little boy. I never wanted you to have my life. For you? Yeah. For what? I love you. Isn't that enough?
What do I want? I want to know myself, and BetterHelp makes that possible. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform with a network of over 25,000 licensed
Sorry,
therapists,
somebody called me out.
making it easy to find.
Looking for another professor. All right, here we go.
Don't worry, I'll be back. It's gonna be quick. I promise. Okay? Yes. I want you to come back. Okay. I promise you have my sweater. Okay? I promise I'll in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Have it. 5 minutes. Okay? 5 minutes. I love you. Okay? Mom? Are you still there? I'm not gonna see him today.
Well, we received a phone call from the board.
I was gone for 5 minutes. What are you talking about?
He is safe. Is there anyone that we can call? His father, family? You will be able to see him, just not right now.
Yes, it's you.
Can I do my honestly think?
Yes.
I think it is a terrible idea.
Yes. Yes, I see.
So this one's called Love is Never Wasted.
So, that's Kevin.
So, I don't understand. How's it going? Nowhere else really?
Hey, buddy. What's your name?
Process for this doesn't make me feel
I'm Gabby. It's very nice to meet you. hurry.
Okay, go find food in the kitchen. I think there's some pizza.
No. You're calling me. I'm trying. Sorry, Mommy. Just one this time.
Sorry, I was muted. I promise I didn't miss anything. We're with you now.
Oh, come on. Come on. Don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow. You have my sweater.
No, Dr. Hero, here this whole entire time. So they start as well as my first building today. But no, I know Michael Carter as a coach. Many years. But it's definitely a pleasure for you to be here, especially know that you still there. Just think back, you got those words and things that you take over. You gotta really understand it's like positive predictive. And Coach Carter was always positive. Even in direct of students, always positive. And always, as far as time,
So finish that
yeah, that's it.
Wednesday and
So,
Friday.
you know,
This is the
so there was
conference.
always inspiration that the young man, especially back then, is definitely to see, still to be able to say, still hear that course.
And you register.
So, maybe I should report it. I'm lost, but at the beginning, I decided to hear what they have for us.
And you can watch it in the past. So see you guys Wednesday.
And